Hey everybody, welcome to Goots' Wrestling Pod. I'm your host, Ray Goots, and we're talking Survivor Series 88, and look who's I got on my shirt. I got the Honky Tonk Man.
One of the greatest superstars of all time.
The greatest.
One of
Did
the
you see this new clip? Speaking of Honky Tonk Man, did you see this new clip from Meltzer and Alvarez where they're complaining that WWE has too many long title reigns and that nobody
Yeah,
cares? Do you see that?
yeah. I heard it. I heard it. I didn't see it. I heard it.
I mean, heard it. Yeah, whatever. I can't look at those scumbags. And they're like, oh, who gives a shit that Bianca Belair has the belt for this long and all this bullshit. Dude, dude, they used to complain. Like, do you remember the year 2002? The title would change hands like every month. Remember that year?
Yeah.
They complained till the cows came home that year. Brian Alvarez was screaming into the fucking internet before there was like he was just screaming about how they're changing the titles too much. And now they're like, oh, the belts are on guys too long. Bro,
Well, to be fair, in that clip, they were saying that because all the titles are now going to this historic record thing, it means less. If you're gonna do this, you only have one title. Do it.
but I think it puts over all the champions. I think when Gunther loses, whoever beats Gunther is going to be made. Whoever
Mm-hmm.
beats Roman's going to be made. Whoever beats Bianca is going to be made. I'll give a perfect example. Look at this guy. When
Yeah,
he lost to the Ultimate Warrior, like I said last week, became a star, and people still remember that he was the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion.
yeah. But yeah, I understand what you're saying. I do agree. Like
Mhm.
they it's good to have long reigns, but I think what they were trying was that if you're doing it, if you're having four historic long reigns at the same time, it's kind of like defeats the purpose, you
I
know?
see. I think it keeps those well. One's a face, the other he, but it keeps these wrestlers strong, and also like it
Mhm.
makes title changes mean more.
I,
Don't
I'm
give
a,
me.
I'm a big fan of long title reigns. It doesn't have to be the longest, but I'm not a big fan of constantly swapping belts.
Yeah,
Yeah,
don't get me wrong. Like if someone came in the future and said from May to December the WWE title's going to change hand like 7 times because of some crazy bullshit. I'd be kind of interested to see how that plays out, but I wouldn't. I don't really want it. I want someone to beat Roman, and then I want them to hold the belt for a while. You know.
yeah, of course. Same here. I agree. I
Yeah.
agree.
And like Gunther, I think Gunther shouldn't lose the belt for like
I
another
don't
year
think
or
Gunther should lose the belt. I thought Roman should have
two.
lost the belt already.
Yeah, he should have
Uh,
lost the belt.
he should have
But
lost the belt.
Bianca and Gunther, if they, I don't see anyone that they should lose to right
I
now.
think Bianca needs to hold it for a long time to really help legitimize her.
Mm-hmm.
Gunther is just I don't want to see Gunther get beat unless it's like a legitimate like I believe that this could
Yeah, I would just
it
because
can't be like Ricochet. It can't be like Ricochet beating
his
Gunther.
argument was like the IC belt's meant to change hands a lot, and I'm like, but if Gunther had lost, like who has he fought? He fought Ricochet. He fought Braun Strowman. If Gunther had lost to one of these people to make Dave Meltzer happy, you would have complained that Gunther lost to like Ricochet. You
Yeah.
would not
Well,
you.
yeah, well, Dave Meltzer, you know how I feel about him.
Fuck him. All right.
I think I have autism.
Um. So Survivor Series 88 took place Thanksgiving night, 1988, second annual Survivor Series. Andrew Lee, what'd you think of the show overall?
Overall it's all right. Not the best, but it was okay. It was all right. What
There,
did you think?
there was some really good spots on the show. I thought.
Yeah, I guess. This takes place in Richfield, Ohio. 13,500 fans in attendance. You got Gorilla Monsoon, Jesse Ventura commentating. Jesse got that pilgrim hat on again. We go to our first match. We got the first team co-captains Beefcake and the new Intercontinental Champion Warrior.
Mhm.
And first appearance that I see in the pay-per-view of Blue Blazer, Owen
Owen
Hart,
Hart, yes, he's finally here.
my favorite, Sam Houston, and Jim Brunzell not in Killer Bee's outfit. He's
No,
not wearing that stupid yellow and black. He's wearing like red, white, and blue. Versus captain of the team, Honky Tonk Man. This is how popular, this is how important Honky Tonk Man was. He was the captain of the team, right?
Mhm.
Danny Davis, Greg the Hammer Valentine, Ron Bass and Bad News Brown, and they're accompanied by Jimmy Hart. Um, by the way, I mentioned Jim Brazel's got new tights, so I'm guessing the Killer Bees are broken up at this point, right?
Yeah, and then I think one of them leaves and one of them stays around as a jobber for like 2 more years.
That's probably Jim Brunzell who sticks around because he's in this match, and you don't
Oh, but
see
Brian Blair is also on this pay-per-view. Yeah.
he's not on this pay per view.
Yeah, he's in the he's in oh no, that's Ken Patera, yeah.
Yeah, he's not in this one. Blair's not in anything here. Um, so I'm assuming it's Brunzell, but maybe I could be wrong. By the way, you know who's got terrible gear? Danny Davis, because
Yeah, well,
it makes
he
him
was
look like he has very short legs.
well, that's supposed he was an remember he's an evil ref that they forced
Mhm.
to be a wrestler if he was gonna like interfere in the matches. Which I thought like, okay, if you're gonna interfere in the matches, you're now forced to be a wrestler. So it's kind of like his evil wrestler wrestling gear, right? Evil referee wrestling gear. But also I thought to myself, watch this, like, why would you ever put Danny Davis on your team?
Yeah. Well, anyway,
Right?
he's the first one out.
Yeah,
He's the first one out,
that's
like
what I thought.
instantly. But Beefcake puts a sleeper on him. He's out first. Then Jim Brunzell gets hit with a ghetto blaster, and he's out. This is also a terrible looking ghetto blaster. It's still really bad. I can't believe this guy was doing this long. Bad News Brown and Greg the Hammer Valentine's accidentally hits Bad News Brown. Remember, they're on the same team. This causes Bad News to get really mad, and he just leaves the team. He goes, "Forget it, I'm a loner," and he leaves. Ron Bass power slams Sam Houston. Sam Houston's out fourth. The Warrior comes in, and everything goes crazy. The crowd's going crazy. He's going crazy, and basically that's like the highest point in the match. Blue Blazer, Owen Hart, he's fantastic in this.
Mhm.
He makes Jim Brunzell look obsolete because it's supposed to be jumping Jim Brunzell, but like Owen Hart does like way more crazy shit, you know? Like he does like hurricanranas and shit like that. Anyways, he's all good, but Greg the Hammer puts a figure four on him, so Blazer's out fourth. And Brutus Beefcakes, Honky Tonk Man, they get a double count out. And then it ends up being Warrior. He's the last person. He's getting double teamed, but then he hits a double axe handle on Ron Bass, who goes out, and then he hits another double axe handle on Hammer. That Hammer leaves. So Warrior is the sole survivor. He is the winner. What did you think of this first opening match?
I liked it. I like the fact that Warrior didn't hit his like spots to end the match. Like he literally like is like, I'm just ending this match right now. You know what I mean? I
Was
like
that his finishing move, like double axe handle?
no, his fishing was as big is the gorilla press and the big splash.
Yeah, but then why would so he just ended two guys with double axe
I
handle?
think the implication I'm getting is that like I'm outnumbered. I've got to beat these guys right away. So I'm just gonna hit them with these moves and keep moving.
Okay.
Like I'm just gonna hit them with any, which I kind of like because if it's a real fight and like if it's a real fight, like why wouldn't you try any move to like get out of it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's super popular. Like
Yeah,
crowd goes crazy anytime he's in the ring, like crazy.
yeah.
It's like a real mania. It's like, like the mania kind of feeling, you know?
Yeah. And then the other thing I like how they defeated the Blue Blazer because I like how they just shoved him off the fucking turnbuckle. Like I feel like I've never seen that spot like in AEW. Like these guys like just stand there and wait while somebody climbs the ropes or climb. This is like the Honky Tonk Man and Ron Bass are like, we have no time for this bullshit, and they just toss him down, and then Greg catches him, and I like that because it's like that's a logical way to beat a high flyer.
He was
And
really good in this match, Blue
he looked
Blazer.
really
Like,
good, and
yeah.
it's just, and it was like it was a really smart way to take him out. It was a really smart way to neutralize him and that type of offense, which you don't see anymore because like I feel like I do, but it was really good, and yeah, I liked it. And Honky Tonk Man was good, and you know who else was pretty good in this match? Like I'm watching him, like this guy's not bad. I don't know why people say he sucks. It's Brutus Beefcake. He's another guy that was pretty good.
No, Brutus Beefcake, he's pretty popular too, you know?
Yeah, people kind of because he kind of became Hogan's lackey. I think it's because of his injury. People kind of like forget how popular he was.
Yeah, and he's not bad, but I didn't think he was bad the first time I saw him showing up as a heel in the first WrestleMania.
Yeah,
You know? He
But like
wasn't
every
bad
time I
then.
see
He's
him, I'm
not
like,
bad here. Yeah.
what is so bad about this guy? Why?
He's
Why?
got a good look. He's got a good look. He's pretty big. Got a good tan. Good tights.
Yeah. So I overall when I was a kid, I didn't think this match was that good, but I really like this match rewatching it now as an adult. So
I thought it was all right. I'm not a big fan of Survivor Series matches.
well, you know what it is? You think to yourself, like, what is the point of these matches? Like, you're not gonna win.
Yes. Uh-huh.
And
Survivor
like
Series
Bad
is
News
my
Brown had
least
the
favorite of
best
the big.
what?
Survivor Series is my least favorite of the big four.
Well, Bad News Brown had the best reaction. He was just like
Yeah. He's like, forget it. I don't trust you guys. I'm gonna leave.
so it kind of
He's
like
not. He's not bad, but I just hate his ghetto blaster. It
but it
looks so
kind of like
awful.
break like it was funny as a kid because that he really stood out to me when he did that. But it's like it kind of breaks the whole concept because it's like, yeah, you're right. Why would Bad News Brown like potentially get injured fighting Honky Tonk Man's battle for him? You know what I mean? And Ron
Yeah.
Bass's battle. Like this is not nothing to do with him really. This is about Ultimate Warrior and Honky Tonk Man.
All these matches, there's like no point.
Yeah, but there's some good action in them.
Yeah. We go to match number 2, and this is you talk about matches I don't really enjoy. These are ones that I think is just too much. This is just like the previous Survivor Series. This is like the 5 teams of like tag teams. There's so many fucking people in this match. We got Demolition, who are the captains, co-captains with the Conquistadors. Demolitions are the captains with Conquistadors, the Bolsheviks, the Brainbusters. First appearance of Tully and Arn in the WWF pay-per-view.
Yeah.
And the fabulous Rougeau brothers versus the Powers of Pains, who are also the captains. With their team is Hart Foundation, the Bulldogs, the Rockers, first appearance of the Rockers in a pay-per-view for WWE, and the Young Stallions. I'm gonna just quickly go through. So basically, the way it works is one member of your tag team is
Eliminated.
loses. You have to also leave. The whole tag team is out. So Bret Hart, small packages, Raymond, Rougeaus are out pretty much right away, and then we get a long time period of the match is happening, and then we get Jim Powers gets a second turnbuckle splash by Boris. He tries to go do a second turnbuckle splash. Boris Zukov, he reverses the cover and he actually gets the Stallions out. This is the first time I saw Boris actually get a pinfall so far. He's always eating the pin. Marty Jannetty does a sunset flip cover on Boris. Bolsheviks are out. Then Bret Hart does a German suplex on Tully, and it's a cover. He bridges for a cover, but Tully gets his shoulder up while Bret's shoulders are still down. So the Hart Foundation are out. Then the Rockers and the Brainbusters, they're fighting both teams in the ring. The refs try to stop it because it's got to be one-on-one. They both teams shove the referees. So both teams are disqualified. They're out of there. Dynamite Kid misses a headbutt. And smash of Demolition clothesline since the Bulldogs are out. Then Fuji, this is the part that gets really weird. So there's only two teams left, I believe.
No, there's 3 teams. It's Conquistadors, Demolition versus Powers of Pain.
Yes, I'm sorry. 3 teams left. Fuji, who is the manager of Demolition, he gets up on the apron, and when Smash goes to run the ropes, Fuji like does the thing where he opens the ropes and Smash falls out of the ring, and Demolition get counted out. And then I think Axe was like, Fuji, what the hell are you doing? I saw what you did. What the hell are you doing? So Fuji starts beating him up with his cane. And Demolition, they fucking go crazy. They start attacking Fuji, and then people start cheering because they hate Asians, right? They hate Mr. Fuji. And then the Powers of Pain, they come and they go, hey, Fuji, are you all right? Come on, get up, man. And then I remember Demolition's down. Now it's Conquistadors and Powers of Pain. And you would think Powers of Pain could easily just beat the Conquistadors, right? Because during this whole match, they're getting their ass kicked pretty much. Fuji trips up the Conquistador, and then the Barbarian headbutts one of the Conquistadors for Powers of Pain to win. Afterwards, the Powers of Pain, they lift up Fuji to celebrate. Demolition comes running back to fight them off. So it ends up being like a double turn. Demolition turns good guys, Powers of Pain turn bad guys. That's how this ends. What did you think?
Well, first of all, I think Fuji fucked up the spot. I think he was there
Yeah, because he gets up on the apron,
and did
and
you
then
stand?
like the rest like get down, and then he gets down, and then he gets back up again. Yeah,
Yeah.
he mistimed his
It's supposed
his
to like
roll.
look very fluid, so it looks like it was by accident Smash falls out, but then it looks because he takes forever to do it, it looks deliberate that he's doing this to Smash for no fucking
Mm-hmm.
and I when I was a kid I really liked the match. I liked the match. I know there's like way too many people, but I think it's a good show. Like it's a good showcase of a lot of good workers. Do you know why the Rougeaus got eliminated so fast and the British Bulldogs were there till the end?
I do, but go ahead and explain it.
So the Bulldogs have been tormenting the Rougeaus, and the Rougeaus knocked out
By
Dynamite.
the way, guys, this is behind the scenes,
Yeah,
not on camera. This is behind the scenes.
the Rougeaus. This is like right when Tully and Owen get to the WWE. The Rougeaus knocked out Dynamite Kid with a roll of quarters, right?
Mm-hmm. Raymond, the Mount TJ.
Mm-hmm.
Bam!
Yeah.
Roll a quarter.
And Dynamite wanted revenge. Vince said no, but they already had this match scheduled. So Dynamite kind of let it slip that he's going to do something in the ring. This is like the original screw job. So unbeknownst to Dynamite, the Rougeaus get small packaged by Bret Hart right away and get the fuck out of there. And the reason why the match keeps going in there to the end, I'm sure the Bulldogs thought like it's because Vince believes in us. So the Rougeaus could get changed, showered, get in the car, and get the fuck out of there.
Yeah,
And
you gotta understand. The Rougeaus, when they get in this match, they get pinned and out of there, and then you don't see another pinfall or submission for like at least 10 minutes or something.
So like
There's a good time period.
dude, that's a 40-minute match. So like they like get the and then Dynamite Kid I think quit that night and he made Davey Boy go with him. And so they never saw the Rougeaus again. I mean, well, obviously Davey Boy saw the Rougeaus again because, you know, he's back.
But Davey Boy doesn't care.
But Davey
This
Boy
is not his beef.
Yeah, Dynamite Kid though is gone forever. He never got revenge and I heard Jacques is an asshole too, so I don't know who's in the right or who's in the wrong. I would say Dynamite's in the wrong though because he abused his wife, and I don't think the Rougeaus ever did that. So, you know, the Rougeaus like connected to like the Montreal like mob and shit. Like,
wait, what?
The Rougeaus had like Montreal mob connections and shit. Apparently,
do they really? I did not know that.
Yeah, but fucking yeah, the Rougeaus get eliminated right away. I thought, you know what was fun? The Rockers and the Brainbusters. Like the match from '87 wasn't very good, but the Brainbusters and the Rockers add so much more work rate. When Shawn Michaels is in the ring and he's moving around with Boris Zukov, it almost makes you think Boris Zukov knows what he's doing. You know?
Yeah, this is the first time we're seeing like the Rockers and Brainbusters, and Tully's really good.
Yeah.
Tully is very, very talented. Yeah.
Dude, I never would have let the Brainbusters go. I would have found a way to keep them. I would have kept them. I just would have kept the Brainbusters for as long as I could.
Why did they leave? Do you know why they left?
They didn't get the money they wanted, and Vince goes, "I'll make it up to you." Vince promised them a certain amount, and they didn't get it by August. And Vince goes, "Oh, I fucked up. I'll make it up to you though." And they went, "You know what? We're just gonna." And then Tully was like, "We'll just put in our 3." I think you have to put like.
Wait, no, you're talking about. So they're in NWA.
No, this happens again in WWE.
Okay, well let's go start with NWA. They're in NWA. These guys they're in the Four Horsemen. Why did they leave the NWA?
Yep, you forgot. I talked about this last week. They were promised a certain payout for Great American Bash '88. They didn't get it. They were counting on it because you had to wait like a month or so, I believe, to get the payout. So Arn's living life like he's getting this payout, and he didn't get it. It was significantly less. So he went to Vince, and Vince goes, "What did you make? I'll do more than that a year." They're coming up on August of '89. They don't have that yet. And they confront Vince, and Vince goes, "Guys, you have my word. By the end of '89, you'll have that and more." And Arn goes, "Well, you gave me your word a year ago, so we're gonna leave." And Vince is like, "Are you sure? Because you have the belts and everything." And like, yeah, we're gonna leave. We're gonna leave in November, right? And he went, "Okay." So the last month that Arn Anderson's there, he gets these payouts where he gets all the money he was promised, plus like way more. And it was like Vince saying, like, "I told you you were gonna get this money, you dumb fuck. And you didn't listen to me and you left." And Arn Anderson, when I listen to this podcast, he strikes me as someone who's not very smart. You know? Because it's like Vince goes, "Oh, I'll make it up to you. You guys are gonna be here for like 2 or 3 years anyway. You're gonna get it. Like, you're gonna get it. You know what I mean?" And he just left. And Vince,
Well, to be fair, like
I know, yeah.
Yeah, because like if Vince McMahon goes, it's a second promise,
Yeah.
right? It's a second promise. So I understand Arn's point of view. Like, no, dude, you already gave me your word last time, and you didn't.
But there still was enough time to make it up. Like, this is August, and they came aboard in October, November, so there's still enough time.
I think, if anything, it shows how impatient Arn Anderson was. Maybe he should have been a little bit more patient. Maybe he should have been like, you know what? Yeah, this guy promised me, but is he like completely not paying me? No. And you know what? There's good catering, maybe, and we have the belts. Why don't we might as well just stick around a little bit more,
and
right?
There's 3 months to go till you reach, so like,
yeah,
I agree. In October,
yeah,
he can make it up to you. Like, he can do whatever he wants. He can pay you like $1 million for SummerSlam '89. You don't fucking know.
Yeah.
You know, and there you reached it. And he's like, "Oh fuck, I fucked up. Well, you're getting it $2 million for SummerSlam." I don't know. It just But I would have like I would like tried to sit down with those two guys and been like, "Listen, let's figure this out because you guys shouldn't leave." I would have kept them, but I do feel eventually. I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I think that I would have enjoyed the Brainbusters as a tag team for like another 5 years in WWE.
Yeah, they're very good. You know what? They're a very good bad guy tag team.
Yeah,
they're like the template of what like a heel tag team should be. You know?
Yeah, and you know what? Tully never really wrestled again because he failed a drug test. Mysterio fails a drug test. They send it to WCW, and WCW won't sign him, and that's it for him. So he's got a year left of like full-time wrestling, and he was so good. Also, I heard he was a dick. So sometimes you burn your own bridges.
Yeah, that is true. That is true.
I mean, he was a great wrestler, but I mean, you're not Hulk Hogan, buddy. So,
dude, sometimes just being like a good person will get you further. You know. All right. So Sean Mooney, he is with Bad News Brown, and he does a promo, and he's talking about like, yeah, I'm a loner. I'm not gonna, fight with these losers. And then he starts calling out Savage, who's a champion, and he's like, I want a title shot and everything.
He gets the title. He gets the title.
You know what? This wasn't a bad promo.
Yeah,
it was. I like this character that he's like the loner. He doesn't have any friends at all. Not good guys, not bad guys. I like this loner kind of role. I do like that.
It's Austin before Austin.
Yeah. With a lot less talent.
I agree.
Mean Gene Okerlund, he is with. I wrote Bobby Lee. Why did I? Oh,
did you see? By the way, speaking of Bobby Lee, did you hear like there's another Asian guy in trouble for talking about raping? Another West Coast Korean, bro. You gotta
wait. It is Bobby Lee or is it not Bobby?
No, it's a new guy, David Cho. Have you heard about this guy?
David Cho?
Yeah.
A comedian or the American artist?
He talks about raping a woman on the podcast. No, he's an artist. But he's
you don't know who David Cho is?
Nah, bro. I just found out about him yesterday.
David Cho, if you're a comic book fan, I don't like this guy. I don't like him at all. I'll tell you why. I didn't like him before this guy got famous. Okay, this idiot. Okay, because I think he's an idiot. I 100%
think he's an idiot too. Looking into it.
I'll tell you about it. This is the first time I heard of this guy. I believe I was interning at Marvel. He was the original artist that was selected to do NYX. If you guys are not familiar with NYX, that's that was the series that X-23 first appeared in, right? And the guy who was initially NYX was supposed to be really, really mature. It was supposed to be super mature, right? Like talking about sex and all this stuff. And NYX was already mature enough. If you read it, like X-23 is she's a prostitute and shit like that, right? But they were gonna do this whole thing with like Rogue, because she can't touch anybody, she's just basically masturbates all the time. So in her room, she's got like a whole bunch of dildos and everything. I swear to God, this was the original like supposed to be for NYX. And then Marvel was like, we can't do this. We can't just show Rogue with a bunch of dildos and stuff, right? We just can't do that, right?
Yeah, you really can't. So they just came out.
Yeah. So they
walking around as Rogue.
So they canceled it. And this guy, David Cho, who was supposed to be the artist, he flipped the fuck out. Like, he was one of the first guys who just went on this rant and was like, I don't need you. You called me. Like, I don't need you fucking here. You fucking don't waste my fucking time, Marvel, you piece of shit. And I was thinking, like, are you a fucking idiot? I remember reading this going, like, this literally was pompous asshole.
He is
You were
pumped.
given an opportunity to draw for the X-Men in Marvel, right? Not a lot of people get this opportunity. And I get it that there was this great project you were attached to and it got canceled, but like how do you that stupid not to understand that there's a reason why they don't want to take their fucking characters and do shit like that? You know, like how do you are you that stupid? How do you not
He's
understand?
arrogant. He's arrogant. I'm
Yeah,
looking
yeah.
at this thing. Dude, so Netflix has this new show about Koreans with Ali Wong and Steven Yeun, right?
But
Called
Ali Wong isn't Korean.
well, the characters are Korean. I don't know what to tell you. Anyway,
Huh?
so fucking and he's in it as Steven Yeun's friend. He's acting now. And it's all about like church culture in Korean neighborhoods and shit. That's what I heard. But anyway, now the show is like really catching on, and now nobody wants to watch it because all this stuff surfaces him talking about raping a black woman on a podcast.
Jeez, this guy is fucking terrible. He also thinks he's like the second coming of what's his dad? What's that? Anthony Bourdain,
Yeah,
right?
I know. He thinks
Yeah,
he's
he's not. He's not anywhere close. This guy's a fucking loser. This
dude.
guy's not even that good of an artist. He's really not even good.
Yeah, he
that good of an
sucks.
artist.
Everything about him. You gotta talk to
Yeah,
your West
everything
Coast.
about him. He makes me like ashamed to be Korean.
You gotta talk to your West Coast Koreans, bro, because they're really like fucking shit up.
Dude, how many times have I said this? Something's wrong with like LA Koreans. They're just fucking weird.
I was watching the podcast with him and Bobby Lee. You okay there, bro?
Yeah,
him,
yeah.
Bobby Lee, and Steven Yeun. I watched clips, and I'm just like, dude, fucking Bobby Lee and Steven Yeun. I mean, not Steven Yeun, Dave, whatever the fuck. Not Steven Yeun.
David Cho. He's from LA. He's by the way from LA. Yeah.
There's something. They got like brain damage or something. I don't know what they put in your fucking Korean barbecue over there, but they got.
Was I wrong about that shit? I was.
No.
Wasn't I right?
And now they're all getting in trouble. They're all like.
But wasn't I right? Wasn't I right when I told you this? I told you this a while ago. That there's something fucking wrong with them. Yeah, there's something fucking wrong with them. Anyway, he's a fucking loser. Anyway, Mean Gene Okerlund, he's not with Bobby Lee, but it might as well be Bobby Lee. It's fucking Mr. Fuji, who sounds like Bobby Lee in this fucking promo. It's Mr. Fuji and the powers of pain, and they talk about how he made Demolition, and they need him. He doesn't need them. It's not a good. It is what it is.
Barbarian was trying to do like an Asian accent. The guy.
No, that's just his voice. He's not American.
Dude, his voice is so weird.
Yeah, because he's got an accent because he's like from the islands. You know, he can't speak English that well. Mean Gene Okerlund, he is with Andre's team after this, and they're heel tag, they're a heel stable, right? The Survivor Series team, they're all bad guys, and everyone. I don't know if you noticed this. Everyone on Andre's team gets promo time except Harley Race.
I know. Vince is teaching Harley a lesson, bro.
Everybody gets a piece to say something, and then they just skip right over Harley Race. It's like, why did they do that? Why did they just fuck Harley like that?
By the way, did you notice like what a star already Kurt Hennig looks like, feels like?
Oh, yeah. But why did they just skip Harley like that?
Because Vince is teaching him a lesson.
Really?
Yeah.
What's the lesson?
You should have fucking you should have fucking sold your territory to me when I asked you to. Instead of he pulled the gun on Vince or Hogan.
Yeah, I guess it's a power move. But yeah, this is the first appearance of Mr. Perfect on
Harley Race in '88 is just Vince teaching this guy not to fuck with him. Like he gives Harley Race a push in '86 and '87, and he's like, I'm done with that. And now you're gonna learn who the fucking boss is.
Yeah, that's what it feels like.
Vince is nice though. I'll tell you what he did do for him. He when Harley Race was dying, he paid the fly-in family members to say goodbye to him, and then they had to fly the body to certain, and he paid for the flight of the body.
I will say this though, if you look at everybody who's in this Survivor Series match that's coming up, Harley's time is over at this point.
Yeah, because everyone else is like
at this point when you watch this match. Which is the third match coming up. Wrestling is now a cosmetic industry at this point. You know, everybody looks like either $1 million or you look like a fucking slob who's on his way out. Those are that's how it is. And Harley, unfortunately,
Kurt
is on the
Hennig
way
looks
out.
like the future.
Yeah, exactly.
And he was.
Right before this match, Paul Mooney, he does a Shawn Mooney, not Paul Mooney, Shawn Mooney.
Paul Mooney and Bobby Lee.
Bobby Lee and Paul Mooney. Shawn Mooney, he interviews the Mega Powers team. Everybody, unlike the other team, everybody gets promo time this time. But we're gonna go to match number 3. We have Jake Roberts, co-captain. On his team, we got Ken Patera, Tito Santana, Scott Casey. My first time seeing this guy, Scott Casey, and Jim Duggan, who's the other co-captain, versus co-captains Dino Bravo and Andre the Giant, and Harley Race, Mr. Perfect, and Rick Rude. Dude, I don't know how the fuck did Dino Bravo become co-captain on this team.
I don't know. I think because he was feuding with Jim Duggan.
This guy is I don't see it, but all right.
Nobody saw it. Nobody saw it.
Here's the order of eliminations. Rude Awakening on Ken Patera. Ken Patera's out first. Dino Bravo hits a sidewalk slam on Scott Casey, and then he follows it up with probably one of the worst covers I've ever seen. He basically puts his dick on Scott Casey's face. If you watch it back, this guy can't even cover people right. Like, I don't understand how Dino Bravo is getting so much screen time. I don't understand it. Like, I don't get it. Like, he's not good. He's not good at all. No. I don't know why Vince he doesn't even have a good body. He's got like a huge steroid gut, you know?
I think he was big deal in Montreal. I think Vince liked to push the Canadians so he could sell tickets in Canada.
Oh, maybe.
Back then. I think that's
this guy sucked my balls.
Dude, he is one of the most. He's the one guy I don't see, and nobody has nostalgia for him. Like, dudes, people have nostalgia for Repo Man, although he was good. I mean, he was also in Demolition.
No, Repo Man's all right. He played his
role very well. People have nostalgia for so many of the characters people say are bad. Nobody ever goes like, yo, you know who my favorite was? Dino Bravo. Nobody.
Yeah.
Nobody gives a fuck.
I see nothing in Dino Bravo.
Dude, when he got murdered, nobody cared in my school. Like, if Hulk Hogan got shot in his house, we all would have had to go to counseling. I went to school and said Dino Bravo was found dead in his house. Everybody was like, oh, okay. And we were all little kids. We just kept watching the cartoon show.
Yeah, he stunk. Tito Santana hits the flying forearm of Harley. Harley's out, and then Andre the Giant comes in and sits on fucking Tito. That's all he does. Sits on Tito. Tito's out. Jim Duggan hits Dino Bravo with a 2x4. So Duggan eliminates himself. So it ends up being 4-on-1 on the good guy, on the bad guy side. By the way, throughout this match, Jesse Ventura keeps making jokes about how dumb Jim Duggan is. It's so funny. Because Jim Duggan does come off stupid. Like he just is this character supposed to be like a really dumb American? Because he really comes off stupid.
That was his character. Yeah, well, originally, so when he was first hired, Bruce Pritchard said the goal was to make him like a successor to Hogan, but like a blue collar Hogan, right? Then he got arrested. Remember, he got arrested for smoking marijuana when Irish. And so when he eventually Vince brought him back, but Vince made a speech in the locker room that you're never going to see those two ever in WWE again. When they got arrested, he made a speech like, "I'll never work with Jim Duggan again." But somehow, I think Ted DiBiase went to bat for him, and a couple of other I think a lot of respected guys went to bat for him. So he got rehired, but it was known to Bruce Pritchard. I don't think Hacksaw Jim. He's never going to be given the ball. He's always just going to be right underneath the ball. And I think that's when he made him an idiot on the show.
Oh, I mean, he's very popular. Jim Duggan. You know how when Jim Duggan dies, because eventually he will, right? Everybody dies.
What if he's immortal?
When he passes away, it's gonna make national news because Jim Duggan, dude, the guy just was recently at that boxing match with Jim Morrison, right? Not Jim Morrison. What's John Morrison, right? Doing the intro, and people were still going, "Oh." They were still doing it. Like, this guy is a part of Americana.
He's the man, but like, yes, they made him. Vince, after that arrest, booked him like an idiot. Yeah,
he comes off like an idiot. He's always constantly making faces, just like running, like just marching around the ring, going, and like Ventura just making like Oh, he hit his head. Hey, Gorilla Monster's like, oh, I hit him on the head, and Ventura was like, well, there's not much to worry about since it's a hollow head, some shit like that. I was like, Jesus. Anyways, even the way he gets eliminated, he's an idiot. Like he got himself disqualified. Anyways, uh, Rick Rude is in there with Jake Roberts, and then Jake Roberts pulls down his pants, so you see Rude's bare ass, and then he hits a DDT, and Rude's out, and then Andre the Giant starts choking out Jake Roberts, right? But he doesn't pass the 5 count on the rope, so Andre the Giant gets disqualified. But remember, he was choking out Roberts, so then as he's about to leave, Andre gives him one last headbutt. Roberts falls down. Mr. Perfect makes the cover, and he wins. The bad guys win. Afterwards, Jake Roberts gets the snake, and he tries to scare away the winners, but Jesse Ventura goes too little, too late, and he is actually correct. But what did you think about this match?
Man, every time I rewatch these shows, I can't believe I knew he was popular as a kid, but I forget how popular Jake the Snake was, bro. The fucking
He is. He's very popular.
Dude, it's like underplayed how popular he really was. He was I'm starting to think if Hogan and Savage, like if they had just quit, they probably could have just put the belt on Jake the next day and people would have went with it. Like if Hogan and Savage like this night were like, we're leaving, brother. And like who the fuck am I gonna put they could probably just put the belt on Jake. You know?
Yeah.
Like
he's
that popular.
He is very popular. There's a couple of guys, if you really think about it, like you know how right nowadays people always say there's not enough stars, there's no stars, what do you mean stars? I get it, because if you're watching this pay-per-view, and let's just say, yeah, you're right. Like in your scenario, Hogan and Macho Man, they both like, fuck you, Vince, we quit. Dude, you could make you could make Beefcake a star. I'll even take Ultimate Warrior out. Let's say Ultimate Warrior.
He leaves.
Yeah, let's say all 3 of those guys leave.
Yeah, tonight.
The next people up are like fucking Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Like, he's over. He's really popular. Jake Roberts, super fucking popular. The fucking Beefcake, really fucking popular. You got 3 guys right there, and they're not bad.
And then what you could have also done if you like really wanted, you could have broken up the Hart Foundation and pushed Bret Hart, because I think people would have bought him even back then as like at least the Continental title. And then you could have like turned, if you really were desperate, you could have turned Mr. Perfect,
or Rick Rude,
or Ted DiBiase. You could have turned.
Or you could also finally give that big push to Tito Santana, because he's still very popular.
Yeah, so it's like
Tito's still popular and he's getting pushed down. I'm like, Tito's still like got it. He's just like now become an afterthought. But there's so many fucking stars like in this company at this time, and part of it is he's poaching talent. Let's be honest, he is.
He is, but like he's using them. He's finding ways to use them that are different from what the territories did, but fit them like perfectly. Like Hacksaw Jim Duggan wasn't an idiot in Mid-South, but this fits him so much better. You know what I mean? Jake didn't have a snake, but this fits him so much better.
Yeah.
So he's poaching these guys, but he's Mr. Perfect. He was just Kurt Hennig.
Yeah.
Now he's Mr.
You know what
Perfect.
he's doing? He's poaching this talent and then he's enhancing them.
Yeah.
Even Hogan was in WWE May, but he didn't become as big as he did until he came over to WWF. Yeah. You know? Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's amazing how many fucking people are on this show that you're like, man, if Hogan wasn't there and if Macho Man wasn't there, these guys would be the next fucking big thing. It's like, you know what it is? It's like you're the biggest fish of your small pond, but when you come over to the big pond, you're just like, you ain't the biggest fish.
But but see, that's the thing. It's like, but also like, I feel like,
you know what I see that happening is like NXT from years ago.
Yeah.
Remember when like Kenta was like, he was like the big fish in Noah.
Yeah.
He comes over and he was just like Shinsuke Nakamura, probably the biggest fish at the time in like New Japan Pro Wrestling. One of them comes over and he's almost like an afterthought, you know?
I think that the other thing though about at least with the baby, they don't know, and I don't think it's they don't know. I think especially Triple H doesn't know. They really don't know how to book baby faces anymore like they used to in the 80s, because none of these guys, even though Jake Roberts getting the shit beat out of them for like 20 minutes of that last match, and that match, it wasn't that great of a match, right?
No.
But he still looks like a fucking badass at the end. He doesn't look like an idiot.
Mhm.
And the thing about Cody is Cody looks like a moron right now. The way he lost. And Sammy and Kevin, like everyone kind of comes across as an idiot when they lose a feud to Roman.
Yeah.
And like they didn't do that back then. Like Jake,
No, they
but
all the good guys either look like a badass or they don't look. The only one who looks like an idiot is Jim Duggan, and that's by
but
design.
he's like kicking ass while looking like an
Yeah,
idiot.
he's still that. He's still like a badass. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like he got disqualified because he like used a weapon on a guy. It's not like he
Yeah,
got
yeah,
disqualified
yeah.
because like he accidentally hit Jake or something. Like
Yeah.
it's just like they don't know how to book good guys anymore. They don't.
Yeah.
And AEW the same way. AEW, like you can't.
Like a good example is Keith Lee is a bigger idiot than Swerve. Swerve's
Yeah.
always getting. It's
Mhm.
supposed to be the opposite. The bad guys are supposed to be a little stupider. Like if you watched the old WWF, the bad guys always seem to be a little dumber than the good guys, right? Where right now it's reversed. Like it's always like the bad guy is like one step ahead of the good
Yeah.
guy. Always.
Well, it's like okay, so you want Mr. Perfect to pin Jake the Snake, right? Well,
Yeah.
that's the finish you want in this match. If you just had Andre tag in Mr. Perfect, and then Mr. Perfect out wrestles Jake the Snake and pins him cleanly, yeah, that gets over Mr. Perfect. But now you made Jake look like a moron.
Yeah.
The way they did it here is like Andre has to cheat. Andre is so fucking ruthless that he cheats and gets himself disqualified just so Jake Snake can be destroyed, so
Yes.
Mr. Perfect can get the pin. And Mr. Perfect looks good, Andre looks good, and Jake looks good because Andre has to go so fucking far to take out Jake. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, Jake Roberts was like 4-on-1 for
Yeah.
a long fucking time, and he was able to by the end bring it down to like 1-on-1, I believe, right?
Two on one.
2-on-1. Yeah, still that's amazing.
And then the other thing is what shit was it? Oh, same thing with AEW. Like the fact that MJF made Bryan Danielson tap, that doesn't do any, like the heel should not be making the good guy go, I give up. It just is like, it's like they don't know how to book. And I think that's what's kind of holding everything back is like you don't know how to book good guys. You just don't anymore.
Mhm.
I
I think the only one who's like a good guy so far that seems like they're getting booked kind of decently is like, whereas like they're strong and they're outsmarting the bad guys is like probably Bianca Belair, you know?
Yeah, she's the only one. Everyone
Yeah,
else,
she's the only one. She's outmaneuvering everybody. Yeah.
even Becky Lynch, like in the last two feuds,
Oh yeah, she was like an idiot.
she looks like
You
an
know?
idiot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even with this Trish, I could hear this whole entire feud is going to be her being made look stupid
Mhm.
with Trish Stratus. All right, but yeah, the match was okay. But yeah, it's nice to see how over Jake the Snake was. Yeah.
Yeah. Mean Gene, he's interviewing Slick and Bobby Heenan on their team. And man, this promo does not age well. There is DiBiase talking about how he wants a slave.
Mm-hmm.
And there's Akeem, a white guy, but then he's black, just talking jive. I'm just like,
I love
oh
Akeem.
my god! I'm watching this like so. This whole thing, I'm so embarrassed as watching. I'm like, oh my god. By the way, those things, was a weird pay per view as far as camera work goes. Did you notice that?
I think they changed up the camera work because of that 20-man match you couldn't see shit in the first one. So I think they did more diagonal cameras. So like when there was 20 guys in the ring, you could see the action.
But even in the promos, they're just like right up on their face.
Yeah. They were doing some different shit on this.
Yeah, I didn't like it. Like usually when they were doing backstage promos, it's like you see like up to their chest. And there are times that it's like that, but then they get really close to their fucking face. And it's just like, oh, a little too much. But yeah, this promo is okay. Akeem, he used to be one man gang. Now he's doing this
it's
white
to make fun
guy
of Dusty
black.
Rhodes, right?
What?
To make fun of Dusty Rhodes.
They're making fun of Dusty Rhodes with Akeem?
Yeah. The African dream, the American dream.
Oh my god. I did not realize
I didn't realize that as a kid either. When I got older and someone told me, and I was like, oh, it makes sense. And that's why Virgil's called Virgil. That's Dusty's real first name.
Oh, this was really a rib
Yeah,
on Dusty. Why did they hate Dusty so much?
because he was the guy booking NWA. He was their direct competitor, so they wanted to fuck with him.
Oh,
That's why Dusty thought Goldust was to fuck with him. He didn't think Goldust. That's why him and Dustin are falling out. He didn't think Goldust was like meant to get Dustin over. He thought it was meant
mm.
to like ruin his family.
But he wasn't. He wasn't booking at that point.
He was still kind of helping out with booking. Yeah.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
oh man.
That's
This is
why I
so
think
interesting.
like this whole thing, like this whole excuse, like, well, Cody has to earn it. The story's not done yet. I kind of feel like they had Cody lose at WrestleMania and still stick it to that family. I don't know why. I don't know why, but it's like I feel like that was the more prevailing reason. Then he has to earn it.
Oh, okay, interesting. This makes so much sense now. I
Mm-hmm.
guess because Dusty kind of does talk jive,
Yeah, well,
right?
Dusty would kind of imply that like I'm kind of black too in some of his promos. Like they don't really post those a lot, but he did say that a few times.
Oh, this is
Now it makes more sense, right? Yeah,
it is. It's so petty,
it's so
but
I like it.
it's so fucking. It's so junior-ish to do
They
this.
made this guy grow out his hair just so they can make fun of Dusty Rhodes. Like, oh, can you grow out your hair? Because we want to just shit on Dusty
And
Rhodes.
like the way he starts doing the hand things, like
Yes,
even his
Dusty.
every time,
Yeah,
like
yeah. I can't believe you didn't realize it until just now.
I just this is such a oh my god, this is so fucking funny. Oh, this is so ridiculous.
That's why
Anyway,
when people go like, "Do you think like they would like?" Yeah, I do think like a lot of WWE TV is Vince fucking with people. Yeah, I do.
yeah, yeah. He's such a dude. The guy is such a petty human being. He's such a petty man.
I know.
He's
But
just
then
such a
he
small
does
man.
business with you, and you know, in the end, like
Yeah,
he did give Dusty a little bit of a push in '89. So.
yeah. Anyways, okay. Match number 4, main event. There's only 4 matches. That's also there's too many of these fucking team matches in
You know what?
Survivor.
But you know what
Boring.
you know what I like about that though, because we're watching on Peacock, less commercial breaks.
Yeah, it is, but
Because
it's
it's
such
kind of
a
like now when I see a card with like 12 matches, basically it's just commercial, 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 commercial.
yeah. But if you lay it play, like so, let's just say
Yeah,
you
I know.
want to start watching it at 5, turn it on at like 3 o'clock,
Okay.
and then just let it play and then just go backwards. But the thing is it's only 4 matches, only 4 commercial breaks, but it's 4 matches with like nothing at stakes. You
Mm-hmm.
know,
Well,
there's
so
nothing.
this kind of this has an interesting ending, but yeah, so let's talk about the Hogan match.
Yeah. So we got Akeem, the African Dream. He's the captain, the co-captain of this team with Red Rooster. First time seeing Terry Taylor on a pay-per-view with WBF. King Haku, Ted DiBiase, and the Big Boss Man, who's our other co-captain, versus co-captains Hogan and Macho Man, and Coco Beware, Hillbilly Jim, and Hercules. They mentioned that Coco Beware's got a new hairdo. He's got the whole James Brown thing going. It does not look good on him. And Coco Beware's tights are also blurred in the back in this, if you watch this, because I believe they said at the time his tights had WBF written on it or something like that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He is really small. Coco Beware.
Well, especially when you have him in a ring with all these big men.
Yeah, these guys are humongous. Everybody's massive. Coco is so small. I didn't realize how small Coco Beware was. But this is why I don't think. I mean, Coco was with this company for a very long time, but it's like I understand like why this guy would never get pushed to the moon because no matter how popular is, he's fucking tiny.
I don't believe it.
Randy Savage hits the flying elbow on Rooster. Rooster is out first. Bobby Heenan is mad about that. Akeem splashes Hillbilly Jim. Hillbilly Jim is out. Then Boss Man slams, hits the Boss Man slam on Coco Beware. Coco Beware is out. Hercules, he beats on DiBiase, and then Virgil trips Hercules and distracts him for Hercules to get kneed in the back by DiBiase, and then he rolls up Hercules and he's out. So these two guys are feuding because Hercules refused to be DiBiase's slave. Jeez, their words, not mine, guys.
No, well, yeah. The storyline: Bobby Heenan sold him to DiBiase to be a slave.
Yeah.
Thank God they did that with 2 white men. Can you imagine if they had like that be Coco Beware?
Yeah, but he already has Virgil, so it makes it imply like, wait a minute, because DiBiase wants a slave. I'm assuming Virgil is also that's like what he's saying. It's like Virgil's
No, Virgil's
like number 1.
Virgil's like his assistant. Hercules would be his slave. Like Hercules would like clean up the
I get, but it's just the visual is just like too much. It's just too much.
Very weird.
It is, but it's to be fair, it's 1988, so I'll give him that. All right, we see Randy Savage. He pulls DiBiase's tights, and we see a blurred DiBiase butt, unlike Rick Rude's butt, which was not blurred in this. Anyway, he rolls up DiBiase. DiBiase's out, so DiBiase at this point, he's no longer like being pushed as the main bad guy anymore, huh?
No.
It's like it's not even a year.
Well, in '87, he was pushed as the main bad guy. So it's like, it's about a year. Yeah.
Yeah, he's
well,
not even
the other thing is also Vince knows that Macho Man's gonna be a main bad guy soon. So.
Oh, that's why. Yeah, he's not even the captain of the scene.
No.
Anyways, Blake, he attacks Liz, and Hogan saves and goes outside to save her, but it was all a trick. They fucking double team him and they handcuff Hogan to the ropes. But while Boss Man was doing this, Boss Man got counted out, but it's okay. It's a sacrifice they made to fucking take Hogan out by fucking handcuffing him. And Boss Man starts beating Hogan with the nightstick, and he hits Macho Man with the nightstick too. And because he hits, I think, Macho Man with a nightstick, Akeem is also out.
Yeah.
And so Boss Man and Akeem, they're like, oh, we're both been eliminated. Let's get the fuck out of here, because they're attacking. They just both leave, which leaves Haku alone with Macho Man. But remember, it's Macho Man and Hogan, but Hogan's handcuffed outside, so he can't really do anything. So Hogan's just beating Macho Man, and then Haku accidentally hits Slick. Liz gets the key from Slick's jacket. She frees Hogan. Hogan comes in, big boot, slams him, and then he hits the leg drop on Haku. Hogan and Macho Man win. Afterward, Hogan's celebrating, and then he lifts up Liz, and they show Randy Savage being extra paranoid about this. What did you think?
It was good. I thought this version, I could have swore like they had a confrontation and then made up in the ring at the end of this. Like, but it just goes off the air with Savage being like, what the fuck is Hogan doing?
Yeah, like he's doing the extra, like, getting in the side eye more. So I'm like, hey, I saw you pick her up again, bro. Like, yeah.
I like how every big show is building more and more that they're gonna fucking go after each other.
How do you maybe what you're talking about happens like in the main event or something, or
when he turns on him is at the main event show. Yeah, it's not on pay-per-view.
Oh,
when they finally turn on each other, yeah. But the Royal Rumble, it builds. There's a big confrontation with the Royal Rumble. You'll see. You ever see the '89 Royal Rumble?
No, but I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, all in all, I enjoyed this show. It wasn't the greatest show, but I think it's a fun way to, like, if you want to just watch '80s wrestlers, and it's a fun way to like kill 2.5 hours,
Yeah, I guess I don't like Survivor Series matches though. I've never been a big fan of them, but yeah, it's okay. It's no bunkhouse stampede,
No,
so it's worth watching.
It's not that. It's not a classic like bunkhouse stampede.
Yeah.
What it is, guys. Next week, listen. You thought bunkhouse was bad.
No.
Next week, AWA Super Clash 3.
Oh, goddamn.
AWA pay-per-view ever. This one was a collaboration with World Class Wrestling and Memphis Wrestling, and it all falls apart in the back. It's a big fucking disaster of a show. That's what we're covering. The only AWA pay-per-view.
I'm looking at the attendance. I just looked it up. The attendance is atrocious.
Give me the number.
Okay, dude? Let me ask you a question.
I think it's like 1,000, right?
Yeah, 1,600.
Yeah,
this is like Impact numbers.
And they rented out like the big Chicago stadium where like
Dear God.
Yeah,
Dear God.
This is really bad. I never seen it. I've heard nothing but bad things from everyone involved. I can't wait. It'll be fun.
Oh my God, it's got I'm looking at the card. It's got a lot of our favorites in here.
Oh yeah. Well, I think Cactus Jack's on there, right?
Yeah, but I meant I meant the other kind of favorites.
I know Jeff Jarrett's on there and shit. Yeah.
No, not those kind of favorites. Like up to this point, of watching these pay-per-views, the people that we hate the most.
Oh, is Manny Fernandez there?
Yeah, like all the people were just like, why is this person constantly getting matches? All these people are back.
These were all the rejects from WWE.
Yeah, all the rejects. We're gonna get back again. Oh,
so
God,
that's next week. The week after that is Starrcade 88 with Luger versus Ric Flair. In 3 weeks, Royal Rumble 89. And then Chi-Town Heat, which is the first match of the Ricky Steamboat Ric Flair trilogy.
Can't wait.
At the time, Dave Meltzer and a lot of other people, not just Dave Meltzer, declared it like the greatest match in history. So be interesting to see how that holds up. But Chi-Town Heat is apparently when the WCW pay-per-views get like really good. So
looking forward to that, man.
Yeah.
I would love to see them finally start getting real good.
I know it's not Starrcade 88 from what I remember. I'll tell you that much. But so we got a lot.
I listened to the Voice of Wrestling podcast recently, and they were talking about how good the NWA was from like 85 to like 88, and I'm like, really? Are you sure? Are you guys sure that's the high period? Because I'm watching these pay-per-views, and like half the fucking pay-per-views are fucking John Moxley blood matches or fucking ref distraction, ref bump matches. Like they're all awful.
I think like you can make a good you can make a good compilation tape out of like NWA TV from like 85, 86, but if you have to actually sit there and watch the shows, it's not good. Mm-hmm. If you like fucking make a compilation of like Horseman promos, yeah, it looks like, oh wow. But like they're promising something that you don't like. You listen to Ric Flair's promos, then you watch the match we watched. He's promising shit that doesn't ever happen.
Yeah.
So it's like in your mind, because you actually didn't go to these shows, and there's a lot of them weren't videotaped. You think this shit happened, but it didn't. The matches all sucked. So
they all stink. Yeah.
They all stink. Absolutely. So yeah, guys. So listen, that's it for the show. If you enjoy the show, please subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts. Follow me, Ray Goots, on Instagram and on TikTok. Follow me, Ray Goots Comedy. And Andrew Lee, he's gonna be following Bobby Lee around.
I am. I'm good. And David Cho, I gotta follow
David Cho, your hero. Guys, we'll see you next week for the AWA, baby. Talk to you later.